Right, what I'm going to show you how to do is how to create a SQL Server database from within a VB application as opposed to an ASP application. So first thing to do is load up VB. So new project, make sure it's a Windows form and give it a half decent name. I'm going to call it WinDB test. Click OK. Right, so we've got a project. Now it's not actually saved it into the correct file structure, so the best thing to do is to save it first, so at least we'll know where to put the database, because we want to put it somewhere inside here, wherever this folder gets created here. So let's save that first. Okay, so that will create all the folders so we can save the new database. So we do data, add new data source, select database, next new connection, because it's a new database, that's an old existing one, so that could be confusing. So database file, new or existing, so we've got to browse to get it into the right place. So what we're going to do is make sure it's in the correct location. So Visual Studio 2008, it's in projects, that's the name of the project, WinDB test, and we'll leave it in there. So we'll give it a name. We're going to do a simple car hire thing, so going to call it cars. Click open, click OK, make sure it's an SQL Server database there, click OK. Now it says does not exist, would you like to create it? Yes, you would. Okay, and it creates a new connection there, click next. Now this one here, the connection you selected uses a local data that's not in the current project. Well, it kind of is in the current project because that's where we saved it. We do not want to copy it into your project because this creates all sorts of problems later on. It's not worth it for the hassle. So we click no. Always click no on that one, otherwise you're going to end up with all sorts of problems. Okay, click next. Okay, now it says the database doesn't contain anything. That doesn't, because it's brand new. And click finish. Okay. Right, next thing to do is to actually create the actual tables in the database. So here we go. I'm going to remove that because that's an old one. Okay, so we've got cars, so that's one we just created. So I'm going to create a new table. Right click on tables, add new table. Okay, so the first one is I'm going to have car reg. Now car reg could quite easily be primary key. Now we've got nchar. Nchar means it's variable length, so if it's actually only 5 characters long, whatever we're storing here, it will only store 5 characters, and it's talking Unicode characters. Okay, but if you want it variable length, then we would go to nvarchar, and we could replace that 50 with how many is in a car reg? I don't know, roughly 10. So that's variable length Unicode characters. So I'll do this. So what should we have? Car make. No idea. Yeah, 50 will do me. Car model. And that can be again nvarchar 50. Let's go to year. And we'll go for an int this time, short for integer, and that will probably do us. We could do a colour maybe. Yeah, go on, we'll put colour in. And we could go over the top here, we could have engine size and all that sort of stuff. We'll go for nvarchar 50 again because we're lazy. Okay, the first thing we want to do is make car reg the primary key. Obviously that's an obvious one for cars because it should be unique. So as long as you've got your cursor in car reg there, click on set primary key. It's now primary key. Notice it unticked allow nulls for that one, which means you've got to have a value in there. Won't allow it. Okay, next thing to do is save that, and we'll give it the prefix TBL because it's a table, and we'll call it cars. Click OK. Okay, that's cars done. Now let's do. What we want to do next is add another table to record each hire of that car. Okay, so I'm going to give it each hire a hire ID, and that's going to be the primary key for this table, and I'm going to let it auto number it, is what you would say in Access, but it's not called that in SQL Server. It's called identity specification. So we've got to go down the bottom here, identity specification, expand that, so it is identity, says there, says no, we'll change that to yes. Okay, and that should do me. I should also want to make that a primary key as well. Okay, and that will sort out, it will start off at 1, 2, 3 and so forth as you add records in there. Okay, so we want date of the hire. Okay, and we look for a suitable data type for that. nchar is not going to be any good for that, so we're going to find date time will do me. Probably don't allow nulls on that. Name of person. Okay, I'm only sticking to the 2-table database on this one. This would, if we normalise this, this would be in probably a separate table. So nvarchar 50. What else do we want? Well, we need to know the which car it was we hiring here, so we need car reg. Now, this is a foreign field, okay, from the cars. Now, you're better off calling it exactly the same as what it is in the other table. Otherwise, the relationships don't always seem to come across from SQL Server to VB. Okay, so I've made an error there, but hopefully you'll see what that will be later. Okay, so I'm going to save that, and I'm going to call that TBL hire. Click OK. Okay, so the next thing we've got to do is relate the tables together using the diagram. So if you right click on that, add new diagram. Do you wish to create them? Yeah. Okay, so we select the tables we want in the diagram. We've got 2, click add and close that. Now the next thing we can do is relate the tables. So we've got primary key car reg, foreign key car reg. So it goes from the primary to the foreign, or from the one to the many. Okay, so click on where the key is and then drag across. Click OK, and it crashed. I was expecting what had happened there. Now those of you that may notice there, you'd have noticed that I had different data types. I think I had nchar for that one and nvarchar for car reg and table car. So I've got to make sure they're the same. Okay, so just quickly cancel that. Okay, just quickly check a look in cars. I've got nvarchar 50, which is way too big. So let's change that to 10. Okay, that's now 10. Okay, then have a look, see what I've got in here. I've got an nchar, so it's got to be exactly the same data type and the same length. So nvarchar, please. I'm going to change that to 10 as well. Whoops. Okay, and it's gone back to 50. Try again. 10. Okay, it's done at that time. Okay, so now hopefully, if I could just close that. Yep. And close that. Yep. And now do the relationship 1 to many. Click OK. OK, there we go. One cars can have many hires. Okay, and that's how you create a database. Now the next thing to do, if I'd finished this, I would want to create a data set. Now it's already there, so that's fine. So what I need to do now, so I've got a data set but it's empty, so I'd need to drag from Server Explorer, cars, and hire, and the link is there. Now what you find, if you didn't call car reg the same there, sometimes the relationship doesn't get copied across. No idea why. Okay, so we're now ready to go ahead and sort of do some programming. We might want to create some views in here to help us do some easy programming, but that's basically how you create a database. It's a lot easier to get it right first time rather than keep adding to it.